Out from the slightly open crack poured the hot air from the shower. However, it was unlocked. There probably wasn't anyone taking a shower. After letting a dumbfounded expression rise to her face, Erica slammed into the door with her whole body, knocking it open.
Nani?
As she opened the door, a hot blast poured out on her. Erica froze, unable to understand what had happened. Falling backwards on her butt, she realized that boiling hot shower water was spewing out at her, and hard. Cursing, Erica wrapped the blanket from the bed around herself and tried to enter the bathroom once more. Oh gee, did he use barbed wire? This time she was able to figure out what was going on. It was quite an elaborate prank. A wire fixed the shower nozzle in place with that point at the entrance. The pressure and heat were turned up to the max, so that anyone who went through the door would be met with a wave of hot water. The pressure was very strong, which probably accounted for the weight she had felt when trying to push the door open. She tried to make the nozzle point in another direction, but not only was it fixed in place by the wire, it was also fixed in a place high enough that Erica couldn't reach with her height. She tried to turn off the pressure, but that was also held in place by wires. Jesus, she can't manage anything with her bare hands. She'd have to get a tool that could cut the wires. However, when she looked into the bathtub, which was overflowing with very hot water, she saw a bundle of wires and some nippers that had been used to cut them lying at the bottom. If she used that, she could turn off the pressure. I love it, just this petty little shit to get back at her. It's shit for him to buy time, essentially. He sets up this shit in the bathroom just to buy himself some time while she dicks around with this. The blanket she'd used to protect herself from the shower was getting more and more drenched with boiling hot water. At this rate, she'd get burns even through the blanket. She needed to turn the hot water off quickly. Right next to the bathtub, she saw a hanging long-handled body brush. Perfect. They could use that to skillfully scrape the nippers off the bottom of the tub. Fortunately, it was a shallow Western-style bathtub. If it had been a deep Japanese one, it would probably have burned her badly. Making sure not to touch the hot metal parts, she carefully took the nippers and cut the wires around the faucet. That and that. She finally managed to turn the hot water faucet, and the heat from the hot water storm died down. For a while, Erika was forced to cool her almost burnt arms under running water.
とんだ災難です。あんたも一風呂どう？このボディブラシで顔面を洗ってあげます。お気持ちだけで結構です。
Appreciate the sentiment. Erika had finally regained enough for... Are you done? Erika had finally regained enough for composure to be abusive. She had turned off the faucet completely, and silence returned to the bathroom. After that, all that remained was Erika's heavy breathing. She turned on the fan to get rid of the hot steam. She had to leave the bathroom until that was finished. It was pleasant, like stepping into an air-conditioned room on a hot summer's day.
ふざけた罠ですね。しかしこれは検視時にはなかったものでよってこの罠の出現により後宮バトラが生きていたことがまあもとより死んでいるとも思っています。バレているカードを堂々と晒してきたというだけの話です。ではバスルームの中バトラの姿はいいえ、バスルームに誰の姿もありません。ぐっとこれで私たちは例外一箇所を除いて客室にバトラが存在しない。いい加減にしてく。その例外一箇所とは一体棺桶です。後宮バトラのね。肺は肺に、死体は棺桶に。
いいぜ、キナ。
A silence that was complete, except for the rain, was suddenly filled with the smell of gunpowder. It was extremely quiet. The room was filled with tension, as though you'd be sliced in half if you relaxed for an instant. A cloud of gold butterflies gathered on the room's round table and turned into a witch's chessboard. It was finally time for her attack.
Aoki Shinji, あなたはこの部屋から姿を隠し、あたかも密室から隠れた場所は私がまだ調べていない例外一箇所。
As Erika lightly raised her hand, a single gold butterfly appeared from the darkness behind her. It flitted between the index finger and her middle finger of Erika's raised hand and became a white piece. Then, she lifted it high into the air.
その入り口脇のウォークインクローゼット。
Like a falling white lightning bolt. The white piece at the board, landing by a weak spot in Paddler's formation.
そう、ここです。
With a crash, the door of the closet, which was just off to the side of the guest room's entrance, was impaled by a spear that represented the blue truth. Delenar had spun around and thrown it. The door was completely pierced, and the spear stuck in so deeply that if a human had been hiding in there, it would have pierced their chest as well. Its still quivering handle was a testament to the force with which it had been thrown.
ここしか隠れる場所がありません。あなたは今この中に隠れている。どうですバトラ。心臓のど真ん中を一つスマザードメイトってところですか。バトラさん、次はこちら。
ああ、やはりな。わざと一箇所を残し相手を前回のゲームでその手は読んでいたぜ。
おや、では応酬をお願いします。しかし予告します。
してみろ。
あと2手であなたをチェックメ。これが予告です。
なら俺も同じ予告だ。俺もまたお前をあと2手でチェックメイト。面白いじゃない。
Yeah, interesting. That's a word I'd
矛
use.
盾した予告だわ。嘘つきはどっちになるのかしら。
Oh. The air burst and sparked. The silence would hurt one's skin.
ではどうぞそちらの手番です。無駄です。あなたたちの棺桶ごときでバトラさんを捕らえること。
これが
Slowly,
俺の応酬だ。
Battler moved his hand over the chessboard. The gold butterfly that appeared from the darkness rested on Battler's finger and became a black piece. That black piece was the king, which represented Battler.
これがバトラはクローゼットに隠れくらえ。後ろ宮バトラ、客室内に存在しない。クローゼットも含め一切の例外なくだ。
Like a black bolt of lightning this time. Battler slammed his piece down on the white piece of Attica's that had cut deep in behind his lines, crushing hers. It scattered like a golden spray and melted beautifully into the darkness as a faint cloud of gold sparks drifted about.
そうか。まずクローゼットに隠れ、エリカがシャワーに気を取られてる間にこっそり部屋を抜け出した。
But then how would that explain the letter there, Angie?
前回のゲームで金蔵を書斎から逃した観測者の観測をそらし闇に消える。グッと。そうでしょうね。読んでいますよ、その一手はね。
Next was Attica's turn. The gold butterfly popped into existence in front of Attica, and she grabbed it right out of the air. She then lifted that hand into the air and raised the white piece high.
遡り手を宣言。この部屋に封印を破って入った一番最初の時点です。あの時私はすぐに扉を閉めチェーンロックをかけ直しこの部屋を封じました。
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. That's why the seals don't play a part in why, you know, Battler's stuck in this room and can't get out. We know that you can't do the chain lock from the outside. We know that he has to somehow get out because that's... Oh, okay. Yeah, mm-hmm.
異議申請。事件発覚時にゴーダがチェーンロックが機能しない以上チェーンロックでの封印は不可能だ。
異議却下。エリカはチェーンロックをね。不可能です。真鍮製のチェーンをどうやって修復は可能。ベアとも忘れたの？ガムテープの封印。エリカはね、そのガムテープで切断されたチェーンのつまり封印によってチェーンを修復し、それによってこの部屋をエリカさんはすでにガムテープのもう封印はできないはず。異議却下。ガムテープの使用制限は回数じゃなかった。部屋の数よ。3部屋までという場所の制限。エリカはその1部屋にこの客だからエリカは この部屋に何箇所でも、そして
俺がそう許した。
これがあなたのおごり。情けとはおごる者が最も好む足という遡り手により、そしてそれにより私は入室と同時に施錠を行い、この客室を内側より再び密室としました。
The white piece Etika held aloft represented the seal caused by the chain lock. This move would draw out Badler's king and drag it to the guillotine.
死ねバトラ。
The piece for the chain lock was slammed down right at Badler's king's throat.
副将よ、今このチェーンロックは施錠を維持している。
Badler's face contorted. Beto, who was watching from behind, grimaced even more. This move was very painful. If his logic had him hiding in the closet until Etika left, using the uproar in the bathroom to escape, then the chain lock must have been undone. In other words, he couldn't respond to her demand. If he didn't respond, Etika would use the blue truth in her next move. She'd probably say you hid in the closet, then use the disturbance in the bathroom to escape. Since you then couldn't set the chain lock from the outside, you left it undone. And she would be right. This was checkmate. As Etika had predicted, she would strike the finishing blow on the second move. And on top of that, she would probably use the disappearing Badler to solve most of the crimes that were to follow. Losing this battle in this closed room would steal a major deciding piece from Badler. But what if he responded to her demand? What if he could say the lock created by the chain is still intact? That would be fatal to Etika. It had already been shown with the red truth that this guest room could only be made into a closed room from the inside. So, this hopeless closed room would instead become Etika's coffin. With a riddle of that magnitude, Etika probably wouldn't solve the mystery of Badler's disappearance before the end. Each unsolved riddle gives an advantage to the witch side. Badler wanted to respond to this demand if at all possible. However, if he answered by saying that the chain was still set, he would have to abandon the logic saying that he had escaped while Etika wasn't looking. Once he escaped, he wouldn't be able to set the chain lock again. It would make a riddle to corner Etika, but he would have to construct a different escape method. Even a move such as him leaving the closet during the scene in the bathroom and hiding in another place, say under the bed, wouldn't work because he'd proclaimed that Badler does not exist within this guest room. If he could construct logic that allowed him to escape from here while preserving the chain lock's position, then Etika would be the one facing a fatal blow. However, if he didn't have that logic, if he failed, it would be a logic error. The worst and lowest forbidden move that would instantly end the game in his defeat. He would have no way to recover. For Badler, deciding how to respond to this demand was a very advanced and difficult decision. Either way, Etika would probably corner him.
なら選ぶ手は決まってる。
この客室はすでにその密室性について、それをどうやって脱出する。
チェーンロックさえできれば。
If he could somehow get around the chain lock, if he could force Etika to deal with the terrible closed room, it would probably end up as a finishing blow to her. But in order to do that, you would need to make a trick for escaping the closed room that existed before Etika came back. And that would involve the strips, which was now the closed room sealed by the chain that Etika set right after entering the room. And on top of that, he had to make sure that the chain that could only be set from the inside remained in place. If he could do that, if he could find a way, then it would end here. I still can't think of that trick. Right now, Etika is demanding to know whether the chain lock is still set or not. I need to decide whether I'll take that challenge or back down, and I need to do it right now. If I can find a certain win trick, then this is the end. But if I don't have that trick, I should just acknowledge that I slipped out of the closet, undid the chain, and escaped, backing out of the fight. If I say the chain was set without a trick up my sleeve, then it's impossible for me to escape. In other words, it's a logic error.
この部屋での戦いを落としてもまだチャンスはあり、まだ2日目の未明ではありませんか。不可能犯罪を再び構築する時間も
But that's not what
十
he
分
goes
にあり
for.
ます。
いや、もしここで俺が部屋から逃げたことを認めたら、そこの部屋の戦いを降りることはこのゲームの負けを認めるのと同じ。
Badler's point was a valid one. Since all the other humans were still locked in the guest house, then if Badler alone was alive and free to move, Etika would probably base her explanation for all the following possible crimes on the blue truth that Badler was the perpetrator. If they wanted to forcefully turn that around, they would have to rewrite their tricks and logic so that someone other than Badler would be set up as the perpetrator. If they fixed up one flaw, it would give rise to new flaws, which might eventually pile up and kill Badler. Even running away would mean tightening the noose around his own throat. The first truth, that Badler is the culprit, has already been hit upon. And yet, I've struggled desperately to get out of this. I need to. I'm on the edge. I've definitely been cornered in a dangerous spot. However, if I can just change my position, everything might turn around at once. If I can just make this chain my weapon, I can kill Etika. God, if only.
まさか副将チェーンロックを外さずに脱出できるないです。答えたら最後ロジックエラーでどちらを選べばいいかは明白。
そうだ、どちら手を選んでもエリカの望む最悪の展開となる。どっちを選んでも最悪なら、勝った時一番見返りのでかい握手を選ぶべきだ。
あんた脱出のロジックもないのに、切り札もないのにレイズを受けるの？副将要求を受けて勝負する気なの？
Yeah.
俺の手札は役なしかだがな、1枚入ればストレートにもフラッシュにもロイヤルストレートにだって化ける手札が降りても乗っても地獄なら、勝った時奴の息の根を止められる方を選ぶ。
狂気の一手だわ。狂人は時に自ら死地に飛び込むから奇跡を起こす。
Come on, my guy. Come on, my guy.
どうやってチェーンを破らずにこの密室を脱出する？英雄と異常者の差はたった一つよ。勝ったか負けたか。あんたの大勝負拝見させてもらうわ。
Hell yeah. If I can finish things with this move, then as I predicted, I can kill Etika on my second move. I still can't think of a trick for escaping this closed room. However, there has to be something. There has to. Once I think of that, I can make a magic illusion of me changing into a butterfly and slipping out of the crack in the door like smoke. If I have even a drop of that mad magician's blood in my veins, please let that honor. Give me just a fragment of a miracle right now.
さあ、バトルさん。あなたが私をチェックメイトすると予告した2手目をお願いします。エリカ卿の副将要求に応ずるか拒否するか。
Slowly, Badler's hand stretched out to his king piece on the board. He lifted it up and slowly held it aloft, tracing a large circle in the sky. Would Badler respond, or wouldn't he? Would the lock caused by the chain be preserved, or wouldn't it? Would Badler's king crush the piece of the chain lock that stood right in front of it? Or would it slip away like a ghost and escape?
これが予告通り、この2手目でお前は終わりだ。行くぞウルドアエリカ。
Badler's king had become a black lightning bolt and crashed down onto the board. Where had it gone? On top of the piece of the chain lock? Or past that piece?
副将要求にチェーンロックは施錠を維持している。
Oh, jams, let's go. Badler's king had left the chain lock piece in its place and had slipped past it.
そうですね。ここでチェーンロックは維持。そりゃあかっこいいでしょうね。
God damn it. They're setting it up for another fucking comeback moment, and I can't fucking wait for it. Those are hands down my favorite moments. The comeback in episode 2, the comeback in episode 5, like, the comeback moments. I fucking love it. And you got the jams playing? Oh. Like, I know we're still a ways out from the comeback moment, because obviously there's like the whole wedding ceremony shit that was going on when this episode first started. So like, there's still a lot going on, but I know we're gonna get there. I know we're gonna get there. That's what's fucking awesome.
でもね、なんていうか知ってます？
Johnny Knoxville?
さあ、
後宮バトルってうんですよ。ロジックエラー動議を申請。あんたの今の赤き真実は今自らのロジックを自ら断ちました。中立審判員は直ちにジャッジメントを行ってください。大ラムダデルタ卿、道義受理ラムダデルタ、ロジックは通るのね。検証を。道義受理。バトラ見せなさい、あんたのカード。バトラさあ、ロイヤルストレートなのよ。逆なしだったらごめんなさいじゃ済まないのよ。
You woke it up. So sorry.
ああ、ごめんなさいで済ます気。
ロジックエラーになったらゲーム版がぶっ飛ぶのよ。あんたはベアトからこのゲあんたの大切なベアトから受け取った唯一の形見なんでしょ。だからあんたは断じてロジックエラーを受け入れない。
Logic error only becomes established when the witch admits to it. As long as they can keep thinking of new logic to escape with, they will not die. Cannot die. However, that would be like living in an endless living hell of the mind.
あんたは永遠に思考の闇にロジックエラーを拒否してこの密室から出る方法を永遠に考えていいのね。いいのね。それって暴虐の深淵の次くらいに辛いわよ。
Oh, but he's gonna think up of it. He's gonna come
10
up
階
with
建て
something.
ビルの屋上と100階建てビルの屋上から飛び降りる程度の差しかないけれど。ラムダ、バトラはもう手を差し折り、一度差した手はやり直せない。あなたは構成をバトラの密室脱出ロジックが有効かどうかロジックエラー考古学者のようにゆっくり。そしてアイスクリーム屋が甘くて香ばしいバニラ醤油味のアイスをディッシャーで。ええ、分かってるわバトラ。それでは拝見するわ。
ベアト、俺が負けると
思いたくありません。あなたはかつての私と何度も戦い、私が望んでやまなかった奇跡に。だからきっと今回も奇跡を勝ち取ると
Believe, have faith.
信じたい。
ベアトリーチェってそういう理性と狂気のギリギリでずっと戦ってきた俺に対する怒りと悲しみと言葉で、そして一番最後のゲームの最後の最後で見事勝ち取ったんだ。
That might have been the purpose of the card Beto had been gripping as she fell. Ah, it's fucking jam! Beto passed away without realizing that she had won. In the final game, the true victor was Beto.
そのベアトから俺はこのゲーム版を預かった。だから俺は勝った。だからお前だけは死んベアトリーチェ。
信じて。奇跡が信じますバトラさん。 うわーうぜえ。とっとと確認してください、ラムダデルタ卿。ないんですよロジックな。この密室から出る方法なんて勇み足でしたよ。そりゃあこれで勝てればかっこいい。チェーンが破られてないのに姿を消せたなんて最高。かっこいい。不思議ないね。切るわけねえ。できるわけねえんですよ。これができたらまさに魔女。この密室から姿を煙のように消せたら認め魔女の仕業だって。エリカ卿静かに。ラムダデルタ卿の研修中です。
Shut the fuck up.